And welcome back. I actually didn't go anywhere. I just stayed right here. I just stopped the recording and then I clicked record to start the recording again. Alrighty, part two. Let's go. We're moving on to our Canvas walkthrough. So let's click on this, and it's working. Yes, 18 seconds. Great. Let's click on Learning and Communicating Online. And this is our home page. So on this page it says Start Here. Let's click on Start Here. And this is the unit overview. So on this page, it shows you the journey here in pictorial form from week 1 through to week 12, and the different topics we'll be covering in this unit. Importantly here, you'll see the schedule. So let's go into the schedule for this unit. And you'll see that at the top here, it's got the date, the weekly plan, whether there's a discussion or activity or both, and if an assignment is due in that particular week. So if we go down to, say, week 7, I'm doing this for a reason, because I want you to put one of these due dates in your calendar. Okay, so let's go down to week 7, and you'll see over here under the Assignments tab that Assignment 2 is due by Monday the 23rd of August. So as you're going through, okay, so Canvas has a calendar, but because we have 35 groups in this unit and over 1,000 students, we don't use the Canvas calendar for all of our due dates, and we have collaborate sessions. So we meet 3 or 4 times during the semester live, where you can ask questions live in a live video session that's called Collaborate. And we don't put those Collaborate session times and dates in the Canvas calendar because with 35 groups, it would just be a schmozzle. The calendar would fill up very quickly and you probably wouldn't be able to find anything. But what I recommend you do is I have my own calendar. Just if I can pull it out. I have my own calendar. On my calendar, I mark in all sorts of important stuff. There's not too much stuff on this one at the moment, but I have a calendar that just sits here, and I put important stuff in this so that I can see it. Sometimes I use this as a mouse mat, actually, so that it's right underneath my mouse and I can see it easily. And I think I got that from Officeworks, that calendar, but that calendar is really useful. But the other thing you can do is make use of the Outlook calendar. So let me just grab this. I'm just going to copy, Control C, or how do you do it in Mac? Can't remember. Anyway, Mac people will know how the shortcut for copy and paste. And let's go back briefly to Outlook. And here, the second, you see that you can go to Word and Excel and other things here. But this second icon is for the calendar. Go into the calendar, and I'm just going to move this sidebar out the way for a moment. Sorry, what date was that? It was the Monday, the 23rd of August. So assignment 2 is due Monday, the 23rd of August. So let's go to August, wrong direction, August the 23rd, and just double click here to go in here. And I would just put a short title here. Let's say Learning and Communicating Online, Assignment 2 due. And then in the description, I would just paste that whole thing from the other thing. So I've just copied this description here. I've gone into the calendar. If I click on Save, that's now a calendar item. And if I bring this side pane back in on this on that day, that will show up as an item. Now, another thing that is worthwhile doing here is, if we click on edit for this, there are reminders here. And this says remind me 15 minutes before, but you can click on this and change that reminder. And I would change that reminder to remind me, say, the day before. You can click on here for more options, because I want to add another reminder. Click here. Here, see, down the bottom here it says add email reminder. And I would be adding an email reminder the week before. So just in case life got in the way and I completely forgot that assignment 2 was due, I would send myself an email reminder a week ahead to remind myself that this is due. No need to put anything here because it's already going to send you a reminder based on the title that you gave this. Click on save and close this now. And now you'll see here that you'll get a reminder the day before. You also get an email reminder the week before. So I would use this Outlook calendar. If you want more help with the Outlook calendar, you can probably ask the student advisors, or if you're not sure, well, you can pause and replay this video, of course. But if you want to ask me about this, go into the general questions discussion. And if you ask me any questions about how to put assignments in your calendar, I'm happy to go through this again. Discard changes, cancel. Was I supposed to save changes here? Save changes. Perfect. All right, back to the schedule. All right, so I would be doing that for all of these assignments here. There's 4 quizzes, I think it is, for assignment 1, but there are 2 major assignments, assignment 2, and down here you'll see assignment 3. So I would be putting these into the Outlook calendar just like we did then. Okay, so let's go back to the home page. We came into the schedule. No, instead of going back to, I'm trying to work out these. So there's a lot of ways you can navigate in Canvas. I'm trying to do it the easiest way for you to follow. I'm going to go back to the home page. All right, so here we clicked on Start Here, and I just took you into the schedule. The other option here was the syllabus. So let's click on Syllabus, and this is everything that how everything works in this unit. How you can apply for an extension. Oh, well, let's just go through these things here. So the duration of this unit or this course is 1 teaching period. It's recommended that you spend 10 hours a week on it. The anti-requisites. So these are, so if you've done this, this is relates to business students, so it's not really relevant to us. And credit points, this is what it's worth. It's worth 12.5 credit points. Tells you the aim. It tells you the learning outcomes. Okay, so these learning outcomes, these are important. So if you've got a pad somewhere, if you're working somewhere, I would make note of these learning outcomes, because this is what you're going to be graded on. So here, the first learning outcome is explore, evaluate, and use learning strategies. So I would be going straight into the discussion boards and asking, what are learning strategies? We're going to get marked on using learning strategies. What are learning strategies? Okay, the next one is identify and apply theories of learning. Theories of learning? I don't know any theories of learning, but you got to learn some theories of learning in this unit. So you need to know some theories of learning to write about in your assignment 2 and 3. Down here it says the third thing is you are going to, an outcome is going to be effective online learning skills. So you're going to be developing and applying effective online learning skills. That's not quite as theory-based as the first 2. This is more practical thing that you'll be developing. And reflecting on yourself as an online learner, well, this is sort of more philosophical, but when you're reflecting on yourself as an online learner, we want you to talk about learning strategies, and we want you to talk about learning theories. So when you reflect on yourself as a learner. So these four learning outcomes are critically important to passing this unit. So this is where, over the next 12 weeks, this is where your focus should be well, it says, yes, students who successfully complete this unit will be able to do these things. So, yeah, this should be a focus. Also in this section, course syllabus, there are many more things down here for you to read through. I'm not going to go through these things now, but you need to go through and read this. This is important. It talks about referencing styles. It talks about the word count, for example. You must stay within the word count of assignments. It talks about how to get an extension or a special consideration if you're having difficulties with your studies. There's all sorts of information here. Make sure you go through this section, course syllabus. It's really important. And let's go back to the home. How many minutes have I been now? 11 minutes. All right, let's get back to... So we've gone through start here. We went in, we saw the... what was it again? We saw the schedule and the syllabus. Back to the home page. Now, the next thing we've got to look at is the modules. No, before we look at the modules, I want you to go to announcements. Sorry about that. So the next thing down is announcements. If you click on announcements, these are important announcements from Tanya. So Tanya provides, she's already sent out 2 announcements yesterday, one at 4 o'clock and one at 5 o'clock. So go through and read Tanya's announcements. Tanya's announcements are going to guide you to success. So I highly recommend following and reading Tanya's announcements. Then there is, well, we looked at the syllabus, but now we're on to the modules. So here are the modules for this unit. These first modules that start with a 0 are really orientation modules. So just work through these orientation modules over this coming weekend before class begins on Monday. And this will help you become oriented with the unit. Then week 1 begins next Monday, but before week 1 begins, it's a good idea to go through and just have a quick look through each of these pages within Module 1. So let's just have a quick look. I'm just going to click. This is how I would approach it. Like I would come in like every week, come to this unit's homepage, then click on modules and go to the module for the current week, and then just work through each of these modules, reading through, then clicking on the next button. This takes you, oh, I'm not in student view. Okay, so let me go back to the modules, because my view is different to the student view. If I go up here, I click here on student view, it'll show me something slightly different. So yes, so every week I would come, click to the home page of this unit, click on modules, and then work through the module for the current week. You click on this week's focus, and then read through what it's talking about. Click on next to go to the next page, and then you'll see that this one is actually a group discussion because it says discussion here. So this is a task for you to complete in week 1, and this one is just a task to introduce yourself. I've already gone into the discussion for 1.2, and you can find my posts there where I briefly introduce myself. After you've completed that discussion, then you can move on to the next page of this module. And this page of the module, page 1.3, includes one of the essential readings. I highly recommend getting this essential reading done over this first weekend. If you haven't done any academic reading before or for a while, you may find this reading a little bit tough going. I'm going to provide a link to another source on the Future Work Skills 2020 reading that you might find a bit more practical. This one is from 2011, but I've got an updated version of this from 2016, and I'll provide a link to that version in this when I post this video. So make sure you read the Future Work Skills 2020 reading, and you might like to read the supplementary reading that I'm going to provide as well. And once you've read that, you'll be able to answer these questions here. Once you've gone through this, then you would click on Next to go to the next page, which will be page 1.4, which is another discussion topic. This is actually talking about the discussions. It's not a discussion topic yet, but it talks about the importance of the discussions. And then if you click on Next, it will take you through to 1.5. Work your way through 1.5. Again, these questions here, you will have had to have read the Future Work Skills 2020 reading before you can answer these questions. Let's look at this one. So I know what the answer to this is, so this is a freebie. First, match each future work skill. So in the future work skills, there's 10 future work skills. Sense making is one of them. It wants you to choose the right answer for this. So sense making is the ability to determine the deeper meaning or significance of what's being expressed, or is it proficiency at thinking and coming up with solutions and responses behind that which is rote or rules-based, or is it the ability to critically assess and develop content that uses new media forms and to leverage these media for persuasive communication? Okay, so of these three, I'm going to go with the first one. And I click on here to check it, and I was correct. Yay! Then just work through these. So you click on this little arrow here, it'll go to virtual collaboration, and this is just checking your reading comprehension from reading through, and you're not marked on these. So the only things that you're marked on are the actual assignments that you submit. These are just discussion board activities, module activities and tasks. The assignments are something different, and they're far more formal. This is not a formal assignment. This is, you don't get marked on this. So if you get any of these wrong, it makes no difference at all. So anyway, work through those. Then there are some additional readings here. I highly recommend looking at these additional readings. You won't need to look at all of these. Just choose the reading that is closely aligned with your future endeavors or your area of interest. So if you're considering a career in public relations, then you only need to look at this public relations code of ethics, possibly the journalist code of ethics. But you won't need to look at the Australian Federal Police standards or these other standards for teachers. If you're interested in teaching, well, you won't need to look at these first ones, but you will want to have a look at the Australian Professional Standards for Teaching. So these additional supplementary readings, pick and choose which ones are appropriate for your future endeavors or your area of interest. Then click on Next, and it takes us to the second discussion, which is about dream careers. So work through this, and you can read through this and the task, and then you can... So with these tasks, a lot of people are going to be wanting to do them correctly and get the right answer. Well, there's many versions of correct, and there are many right answers. So when you look at this task and you're thinking, what do they want me to write? Just go with your instincts. Read through the task, get a feel for what it is. If you want some guidance, go into the discussion for this task and ask for additional guidance. But for the most part, just go with your instincts. See what it says. It wants you to post a response of about 100 words explaining your search to your peers for a job that you may be interested in going for. So there's no right way. There's no one right way of answering this question. There's many right ways of completing these tasks. So don't not do it because you don't know what to do and you think you might be wrong. Jump in and have a go. There's many right ways. In fact, I would suggest that any response to these tasks is probably okay. There's not necessarily a wrong way, unless you were completely off topic. Like if you started talking about how to play chess, that would not be in line with this task. You need to stay on topic, but any response on the topic will probably be okay. And as we go through the unit, you'll get a better idea of how to answer these questions. We'll come up with your own writing style, and everyone's writing style is different, so don't be concerned about whether you think your writing style is too casual or too academic. Any style of reply will be absolutely fine as we work through these unit tasks and activities. So after this one, then click on Next again. And this is the week in review. So you can click off whether you've completed the week in review. So have you done this or this? Click these if you've completed them. And then once you've completed them all, it's going to change to green and you'll get a little a pat on the back there that you're on track. Also on this Week in Review page, you'll find the essential readings for this week. On this occasion, it is that future work skills reading that we talked about before. So this is essential reading. It means you really must read this, and this is going to be imperative and critical for you to pass the unit, to have read and use this in your assignments down the track. In assignment 2 and 3, we would like to see you referring to this essential reading. Okay. And here it talks about the assignment 1 online test. I'm not going to talk about assignments today because I'm already past the 20-minute mark. And that was a work through of module 1. Well, look, that's as much as I wanted to show you today. I'm going to be back every Friday providing you with a practical guidance for completing this unit and how you can best respond to the assignments. Looking forward to catching up with you in the discussions. Thanks for joining me today, and I'll see you in the discussions this week, and also I'll see you next Friday for Graham's Guide Friday Live. Bye for now.